Hey guys, Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel here. Hey, today we're going to address the elephant in the room. And got the Hubsan Zino 2 and I've got the Fimi X8 SE. Now the Fimi, this is the 2018 version. I do have a 2020 version ordered, but to my knowledge it hasn't even shipped yet. So who knows when I'll get that. But in the meantime, these two drones are kind of natural competitors. Similar feature-wise, this one will shoot in 4K 60. This one will only shoot in 4K 30, and we're going to put them in both in 4K 30 because that's the frame rate I like to shoot in. And yeah, we're just going to put them in the air and try a comparison. We'll do a video test, so compare the video quality of them. And again, this is the 2018 version, so it's got the older camera. The 2020 version is supposed to have an updated camera, updated processor, etc. So we'll look forward to that, and we'll probably do the same comparison over again when that shows up. But we'll compare video quality. We'll put them both in sport mode and see how they fly in sport mode. We'll do an orbit around my favorite cell phone tower back here, and I'm confident that both of them will handle that well. And then one of the things that I think the Hubsan Zino does better than this guy, and that is in tracking mode, but I'm not going to say that. We're gonna want to try it out first. So we'll put them both in tracking mode. We'll go out into the field there and see how they do, and I'm sure that will take up most of a battery. But as a consumer, and if you're thinking about a purchase decision, the main thing you're going to want to look at is how well they fly and what the video quality is, because I've said this before and I'll say it again. The main reason that you buy a camera drone is for picture quality and for video quality. Anyway, let's quit messing around. Let's get the Hubsan Zino up in the air first, the Zino 2. Okay, so I've got the Hubsan Zino all set up and ready to go. Let's fire up the app. I got both the controller and the drone on, so we're going to hit the X Hubsan 2 app, and we should get the drone status report, which is great. I really like that. Battery clip not fastened now. That is really cool. So I switched batteries. I had just flown it. So that is so awesome that it gives us that warning. So I'm going to go back and double check the battery. So you saw there on screen, as soon as I squeezed down on that battery and I could hear the click and the warning went away. That's great, because the battery on this drone is on the bottom, so you absolutely want to make sure that it's fastened in there. Big kudos to Hubsan for doing that. So I wasn't looking at the screen. I don't know if it gave us the drone status, but that's another thing that they've added here is status of the drone, and it tells you. Yeah, so I just clicked at the top and it'll give us that screen. So it tells you your firmware package, that you're connected, tells you, you know, if all of your calibrations are okay. It's saying that everything's normal, including the optical flow, time of flight, and 100% power in the battery, and we've got remaining capacity on the SD card. So nothing to do now but take off. I'm going to switch it into video mode. I want to double check my video settings here real quick, and that is something. So I just had it set, just because I just flew this drone earlier today, and I had all the frame rate set on 30. So we're going to go back to 30. That's frustrating that it doesn't hold that. And then we're going to put white balance. Today's a cloudy day. We're going to put that on cloudy day. Color ordinary. Everything else is good. Oh, I know what else I want to do. I want to get my grid lines on there. Camera, format SD card. Oh, grid lines. There we are. Turn on those grid lines. Okay, and every time you fire this drone up, you have to reset all that stuff, so it will not hold your settings. Hubsan, can you help us out with that? That'd be awesome. So anyway, I'm going to start recording, and yeah, let's go ahead and take off. I'm going to hit takeoff right here on the app, and I'm going to get out of your way so you can see it. So yeah, that was a nice stable takeoff, and it's holding that really good. There's little to no wind now, maybe a little breeze, but it's holding it really good. Let's I'm going to put it into cinema mode here, film mode they call it, and then because that slows everything down, and we'll bring it in here close to the camera here and take a good look at it. So some people say they wish it would go a little faster. That was full stick forward in film mode. But I believe this is the closest I've ever had this drone to my camera. Let's do a 360 yaw. So it's moving around a little bit as I do the yaw, as you can see. I've got the left stick held straight to the left. Yeah. It's moving in a little close. I had to back it off there. Ooh, yeah, it was moving in. Man, I'm telling you, that was a little scary. It got really close to the camera there. So we got it more out of the way here. Let's go ahead and put it back into normal mode. And I want to start out like I always do with a manual dronie. So we're going to go reverse and up now. Reverse and up. Kind of adjusted my heading there a little bit. That was me moving it around there. So yeah, I got a little cross coupling there. That wasn't the best dronie I've ever done. And there again, I want you to take a look at the video quality. I'm going full stick forward in normal mode. And what we're looking for is good stable video. No shaking, nice colors, nice definition. And we had a little FPV break up there because I was faced away from the drone. And there's trees and stuff in front of me, and it's definitely affecting the FPV. Still have good control of the drone, but it's affecting FPV. Okay, let's go forward here. Let's see if we can. I'm going to see if I can shoot right down this green belt here. I'm going to yaw just a little. Yeah, I didn't go quite far enough. Green belt right here that I was shooting for. We've got an aircraft off in the distance, an airliner, but he is way above us. Okay, so one of my favorite video shots when I'm at this location, and of course I'm here because the governor is asking us to stay close to our homes if we're doing outdoor activities because of the COVID-19 crisis. So this is about a block and a half from my house, but we're going to go over the top of Discovery School and look out over the Boise Mountains. And I like having grid lines because you can aim that puppy just how you want. So we are going to go full stick forward now in normal mode. And I'm watching the drone. It's moving right along. Let's take a look. That's, you know, it's a little over 20 miles an hour. So that's pretty good speed. I saw a little catch at FPV there, which I'm not sure what that was about because we were facing the drone almost perfectly. So there, you know, we've got the Boise Mountains in sight there. So what I want you to look at here is the foreground and, you know, how do the colors look and so forth, and the clouds, you know, how does the sky look? Is it blown out? Is it in focus? And of course the mountains off in the distance. I always like this shot because I think it's a good way you can judge video quality, and we'll do the same shot with the Fimi X8 SE. So yeah, let's go ahead and yaw around, and I'm going to do a pretty quick yaw here. That's not the most cinematic, but I wanted to get it turned around. And we're going to put it in sport mode here first, and we're going to head it back towards us. So one click of the button here on the, and you'll see sport mode on the screen. And let's see how fast this baby will go. We're going to go full stick forward on the right stick, clear to the top now. almost over the top of us. 42 miles an hour, almost 43. And boy, does it put on the brakes when you stop. And let's turn back around again. So I've had this drone up to like 47 miles an hour before, but I would say 43 is not bad. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go over to this cell phone tower, and we're going to do an orbit around it. We're going to do an automated orbit. So there again, I am full stick forward in sport mode. Whoop! Boy, I tried to yaw in sport mode, and that's not the easiest thing to do. So let's see, how high are we? We're about 133 feet high. Let's remember that so that we can get about that same height with the Fimi. Let me take this thing out of sport mode. In the top left hand side of the screen there, that kind of X, or it looks like a drone, I'm not sure. And then we're going to go into orbit mode. Your pilot did not do a GPS accuracy test. I forget about that because the older Hubsan Zino will prompt you to do that. This one doesn't. So we've got to bring it back to us. So I don't have to land the drone, but I have to bring it down here. I'm going to skip that, and so we can see what we're doing. And I got to bring it in fairly close to us here, and then I can do that test. Okay, so I'm going to go up here and do GPS, start GPS accuracy test. And we're plenty close enough here to do it. Yeah, so it says we're good. I think you have to be within 5 meters or something like that to do that accuracy test. Okay, so sorry about that. Let's go back up to that to the tower here, and we've got to center ourselves again. Let me drop the camera down so I can see what I'm doing. So obviously I'm going to edit a bunch of that mess out. There it is. Ooh, geez. That scared me. I thought I was further up. I've got eyes on the drone, so I knew I was going to hit it, but that startled me. Okay. Sorry, guys. I mean, I was looking at the drone, but yeah, so I scared myself. You know, like I said, I was staring at the tower and staring at the drone, so I knew I wasn't going to hit it, but it still startled me when it came into view there. Okay, so I'm going to pick the camera back up. And we are going to back off a radius. So first we hit that X again, and we're going to go into orbit mode, and it's going to tell us, yeah, we got this, how to control the aircraft's flight path. And we're going to not set the transmitter, we're going to set the aircraft's position as the point of interest. And the next step, we have to back it off. We have to choose a radius. So we're going to back off, and we're going to get a radius. That's probably about good. And let me pick the camera up just a little bit, and then we are going to execute immediately, and we should be able to pick the speed here. Yep. So we're going to speed it up. We're going to hide this. Yeah, so we've got it just a little bit off to the side. That was, I'm going to probably blame myself there for a setup issue there. But it's doing a perfect circle. And if I had done a better job of setting that up in the center as the point of interest, it would have done better. So I'm not going to, I'm going to hold the pilot responsible for that. But anyway, you get it. I was turned away from the drone there. That's why we had a little bit of an FPV breakup. So yeah, now we're closer to center. And it'll just keep circling till you tell it to stop. So we're going to stop right there. and we're going to fly the drone back towards us, and we're going to do a follow me. And that's one thing where this Zino excels. Okay, there's one thing I want to tell you about this drone. So you saw the drone sinking there. That was completely uncommanded. And that's when we talk about the low speed stability and those downward sensors. That's where this drone needs some work. Pick up the gimbal just a little bit. Okay, so to go into follow me mode now. And actually, I want to get some altitude because there again, I always think about this stuff like I do DJI products with obstacle avoidance, and this does not have that, so you always have to consider that. I'm going to raise it in altitude and probably back it off a little bit. I want to make sure it's that I'm not going to back it into a light pole here or something. And I'm going to move away from the Canon camera, so we will rely on the iPhone for audio here. So the first thing we're going to do is go into following mode. And we're going to choose active track, which it will optically follow me. So I draw a square around myself. And it's got me. Click go. And the drone, as we walk out in the field here, should follow me out. And it is. This guy does a really good job of tracking. So I'm going to see if I can increase the distance here. And I can. And it's still, well, no, yeah, so it still got me. So I was able to increase the distance. Let's drop height here a little bit. I'm out in the middle of the field here, so I'm not as worried about running into something. So you can see the drone is tracking me perfectly, and I can't walk underneath it. It's going to keep backing up. So yeah, that's one of the things that Hubsan has really done well, is that tracking mode. So so I can show you. I'll show you the other kind of tracking as long as we're out here. So we're going to stop, and I'm going to go back into following mode, and you see this other one that says follow me. That is GPS related, so it works, but the issue with that is it doesn't necessarily keep you in the center of frame. But let's try. Let's see. Yeah, it's telling me weak GPS, and you can see right now we're not even in the frame. Mobile device GPS signal weak, which is weird because it liked it before. But the drone is, let me pick the camera up so you can see. The drone is moving around. So I wonder if I can yaw the drone. Yeah, I can. So if I can center myself, yeah, okay. Let's see now that I've yawed it around. Yeah, so it's still following me, but as you can see, that's going to be way more difficult to keep yourself in frame. There again, I've still got it in follow me, but I raised some altitude there so that we could not worry about it running into anything. See if you can see me down there. Yeah, there I am. And I can hear the drone above me. Okay, so I've just had the drone hovering there because the battery died on my Canon camera. So let's grab some altitude and let's fly out into the center of the field out here. And we should, this thing will go into auto return typically when it hits about 25% battery. So we're just going to go out in the corner of the field here, and there again I want you to, we're looking for the quality of the video. Let me yaw it around and we'll come back. A little bit of a quick yaw there. And I had a little jerkiness on the FPV. So we're going to go, let me re-aim it here a little bit. And we'll go full stick forward here, and let's see when this thing kicks into automatic return to home. We're at about 164 feet high, 25% battery. Yeah, so there it's, and we're just going to let it go into return to home. And then before it lands here, I'm going to shut off video, and we'll see if it goes into, if it will do a precision landing for us. So there we are, heading back to us at a speed of about 20 miles an hour, 22, 24. That gets moving right along. Okay, I'll drop the gimbal down here so that you can kind of see. Let's see where we're at. The drone is orienting itself. Man, looks pretty good. Okay, it's coming down. I'm going to turn off video now. So we'll still have the screen recording here to watch. Okay, I'm going to pick the camera back up because we don't want the camera down when it lands. Searching for drone apron. Oh, there, boy, it just did a big correction. It saw it. That was interesting to see. That was a big correction it made there. It was right in front of me. Hopefully you guys are seeing this on camera here. It's trying for it. Yeah, it's moving around a little bit. Yeah, we're in green. You know, there again, I'm thinking. And there again, did you see that the drone bounced as it landed? It's saying that it's 2.9 feet off the ground right now. So the drone, I've complained about this before, the drone does not know that it's on the ground, so it bounced there once. I think if the drone was steadier, you saw it moving around, I think it could have nailed that landing, but it's just not as steady as it needs to be. So anyway, don't mean to complain. I love this drone. I just, that's one of the things about it that I try and point out and make sure that we demonstrate what we see. Okay, so let me get everything shut down, and I'm going to get the Fimi X8 SE, the 2018 version, out, and we're going to put that in the air, and we're going to try the same tricks. Hey, I do want to add, the drone landed pretty darn close to the landing pad there, so accuracy-wise, even without precision landing, it was darn close. Okay, so we've got the Fimi X8 SE 2018 version. Let me get it on the pad. Let me get it fired up and ready to go. Okay, I've got the screen recorder started. Let's fire up the Fimi Navi app. Nice app. Fimi's done a good job with the app on this. Let's enter device. And wow, it's telling us ready to go already. So with 10 satellites. So I would probably be happy if we had a couple more satellites. So one thing I want to show you with this guy is just like with the Hubsan Zino 2, you can do a status check. So if we click right at the top where it says ready to go GPS, it takes us into a drone status screen. I really like this. It tells us GPS normal, compass is normal, IMU is normal, battery is normal, gimbal is normal. So you know that everything is ready to go. So that's just a great feature. So let's go ahead and let's check our settings here for video. We are in video mode. 4K 30, video quality high, white balance sunny. We're going to change that to cloudy day because it is a cloudy day today. Look at that one more time. Yeah, colors general, so that's good. Yeah, you know what? We might as well format the SD card while we're in here. And we do already have grid lines on, so format succeeded. So gosh, we got 11 satellites now. I'd say we're good to go. I'm going to start recording. So recording has begun, and let's go ahead and take off. So we can either hit the takeoff button at the bottom of the app here or on the controller right here. So let's do the controller. I'm going to hold it down. I always like the way the Fimi kicks the props when it starts out. And it goes up higher than most drones. It goes up to about 13 feet, something like that. What's it saying here on screen? Yeah, 13.4 feet, which is what it tells you it goes up to in the manual. So let me drop the camera down a little bit, and let's bring it in and take a good look at the drone. And we are in normal mode. This does not have a cinema mode. It has a regular mode, and you can put it in sport mode. But you can see it's steady as a rock, I'm telling you. Reminds me more of what you would find on a DJI drone. So we got it in close here. Let's do a rotation. I said that, and that was uncommanded when it was moving away there. So I lied to you. When it moved to my right, the drone's left, that was uncommanded. So okay, we're going to spin it around, and that's a pretty quick yaw. I'm going to move it away from the tree here in the leaves. I'd feel really dumb if I ran it into one of these branches here. So okay, so it's looking pretty good now. You know, I just thought of something here. There may be, I can't remember if there's a tripod mode. Yeah, cinematic mode. So when I told you there isn't cinematic mode, there is. There's both tripod mode and cinematic. So let's, yeah, so cinematic is where it won't just put on the brakes real hard, and that gives you smoother video so that there's not any abrupt stops. So that's the purpose for that, and I don't want to leave it in that, so we're gonna get out of that. And then we're going to go back into that again, and we're going to look at tripod mode. And tripod mode, yeah, is where it slows the drone down. So 1 meter per second. So let's just mess around with that for a little bit. So that's similar to the cinema mode than on the Hubsan Zino. So look at how much it slows down the yaw. Definitely slows things down. Okay, let's drop it down here a little bit, or let's drop the camera down just a little. And we're going to take it out of that mode, and we are going to do a manual droning like we do with every time I start a video. So we're going to do reverse and up now. This thing is just a pleasure to fly. Oh, look at that. And it's another really fast, powerful drone. The one thing I'll say there is take a look at that horizon is just a tad off. That drives me crazy. So I'm going to jig it back and forth here and see if we can get it. Let's yaw it a little bit and see if we can get it to straighten out that horizon. Sometimes that'll do it. And you know what? It's a little bit flatter. So what I found is that it gradually straightens out. So let's go full stick forward. We are in normal mode now. And it gives me that low speed warning on the SD card there at the bottom. You'll see that. That is, I've seen that on this drone. It doesn't seem to affect anything. And boy, that drone is moving along. About 35 miles an hour. And there again, I have a little bit of breakup on FPV there because I've got some trees and buildings in between me and the drone. So we are going to go out over the top of Discovery School here, and we are going to check the same video quality that we've seen on the Hubsan Zino. And I can tell you it looks really good on screen on FPV. And we are up, how high are we? We are, yeah, so we're actually higher than we were with the, I think we were about 130 feet with the Fimi. So let's drop it down here a little bit so we get that same view. I don't know, yeah, that's about right. So we're at about 142, that's close enough. Let's go forward, let's go over the top of the school. So that's got to be pretty close. So you remember when I was checking the function button on the Zino 2 and I was trying to tip the camera down, and it will only tip it back up. But this guy on the 5-way switch, I point it down and it points the camera straight down so I can see exactly where I am. So I'm going to move us forward here. That is a handy feature. And there's the very top crown of the building. And that's about where I like to stop. So I'm going to hit that button again. That's this 5-way switch right here. I'm going to pull it down and you'll see it flip the camera back up. And of course it flipped it perfectly level, which is not exactly where we want it for the rule of thirds. But we'll drop it down. And so, you know, it looks to me like the horizon is a little bit off there. But that's forgivable. When you have the camera at 90 degrees and pick it back up, often it'll take it a while to find the horizon. And look, it did. It's fine now. It took it just a second. So that's good. So there again, what I want you to look at here is the sky, the mountains, and what we've got in the foreground. And I'm gonna back it up just a little bit because I think we had part of the building in frame when we had the yeah, this was more, I think, the view that we had with the Hubsan Zino. So I'm going to pick the gimbal up just slightly. That was a little bit much. Okay, that's about right. So there again, you look, what this view allows you to see is the colors and so forth in the foreground. In the focus, and then the mountains off in the distance, how well are they defined, and then the sky, is it blown out, how well is it defined? And I think this guy does a darn good job of it. So let's see here, we're at 64% battery, so we better get going here. Let's turn it around, and I'm going to do a really quick yaw here. I apologize for that, but I want to get her turned around facing towards us. And we're going to put her into sport mode, and I have to go into the app to do that. And you can see that at there's sport mode. I clipped that so it puts it into sport mode, and we're good to go. So we're going to go full stick forward here on the stick, and let's see how fast it gets back to us. 35 miles an hour. Honestly, we were about that just in regular mode. Well, there's 37. We very briefly hit 37. Let's turn around and come back. And there again, boy, look at that horizon skew as I yaw the drone. And I mean, it straightens itself out, but that is something that this drone has done from the very start, and I hope the 2020 version corrects that. Now you look at it, it looks pretty good here once we've stopped. So let's go full stick forward again. And let's see, speed-wise. Now we're there. Yeah, now we're over 40. We must have been going into the wind. 41. And I tried to slow the drone down gradually there to not put a lot of stress on those arms. One of the other hallmarks of this drone is people have actually had crashes in high-speed mode because those arms are a little bit weak. But okay, let's turn it around here, and we're gonna do our an orbit around the cell phone tower here. And yeah, we're pretty close to the same height. I think we were 130 or something. So let me bring it down just a little bit. That's going to be close enough. 135 roughly. And I'm trying to remember when I do an orbit here on this guy, I can't remember if it does a point of interest or if I have to fly over the top of it. I believe I have to fly over the top of it. In fact, I'm quite sure I do. So let's go. Whoops, I gained a little altitude. Let's go over the top of the tower here. And by the way, I need to take it out of sport mode. We're going to do that right now. We're back into normal mode. And we'll go back over the top of the tower here. That's got to be pretty close. Let's hit that camera 90 degrees down. Oh, look at that. Look how close we are. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit closer to the center of it here than I was with the Zino. A little bit more forward. That's pretty darn good. Okay, so I'm going to click that button again to pick the camera up. Look at that. And we'll drop it down there, get that rule of thirds back. And then we're going to go into the automated mode, and we're going to click on orbit. And it says, so you got to fly over the top, and then you got to set the radius, and the heading will be locked as the POI. So we're going to do that right now. So we're setting center right now, and then now I'm going to set radius. I'm going to back it off, and I like this because it tells you how much your radius is, and we didn't have that on the Zino. That's probably pretty good. That's probably further. Yeah, that's further than we were with the Zino. So let's move it back in a little bit. Okay, that's got to be pretty close. Okay, so I'm going to drop the gimbal down so that we got it in the center. Setting radius, so I click that, and we can set it. We want this is critical. With the heading, we need to put on center, and then the flight speed, I don't know, let's kick it up to about 10 miles an hour. There's roughly 10 miles an hour, and we're going to go clockwise, and I'm going to click go. And there we go. Might take it a second to get the command here. Yeah, there it goes. And what I would say is that is very similar to what we saw with the Zino. In fact, I think I'm a little further away. In fact, I know I'm further away than I was with the Zino. But man, it just executes a perfect circle. I'm telling you, for you guys that are looking at buying some of those cheaper drones, you know, like I just tested that SG906 and then that Visuo Zen. If you can spend a few more bucks, you sure get a lot more capabilities in these kind of drones. And this one right now, with code on Banggood's about 371 bucks, the 220 version of it here. So again, I'm not sure if this thing will stop at the end of a full 360. Let's see. I think I have to stop it, but we'll see. I'm watching the drone there. Yeah, so it'll just keep going until you stop it. So I'm going to click on the X down there in the bottom right, and it'll go into a hover. Just what it says here. We're down to 40% battery, so if we're going to do a follow me mode, we better hurry. So I'm bringing the drone back in. And there again, you know, these high performance drones, it is really fun when you have this kind of speed capability. Okay, so we're high enough there. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. I'm going to walk away from the Canon camera and we're going to do some tracking. Okay, so again, I'm going to go into the intelligent flight modes, and I'm going to click on Smart Track, which it tells you in beta there, if you saw that in small letters. And Trace, it's supposed to follow behind you. So let's try Trace. Profile is supposed to go to the side. I've had mixed results with that. So let's try Trace first. And yeah, you got to drag a rectangle around, so I'm going to click OK. I'm going to drag a rectangle around myself. Yeah, that's got me, so we're going to click go. And it should follow us here. And it is. So it's got me, and it's holding me in the center of frame, which is good. That's exactly what we're looking for, is that center of frame. Let's see if it'll come right out to the field here. Yeah, I mean, this is great. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've had mixed results with tracking on this drone, and this is fine. And it's perfectly what it says. It's in follow mode, so it's gonna follow behind you, and it kept me perfectly in center of frame. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's try that. I'm going to exit out of that. I always forget what they call the different modes. So we're going to go back into Smart Track Profile. And from Profile, it's supposed to follow me from the side. So let's try it again here. And it's got me. We're going to click go. Yeah, it's doing great. It's staying right with me. Well, you can't beat that. So we are almost down to 30% battery. So let's get out of that. And there's another mode here that I believe is just like a cameraman mode in Smart Track Lock. And what it will do is, yeah, low battery, it wants to land. So let's try that real quick. See if it'll do it. That's a pretty big box. And I believe that's just a cameraman mode, where it'll just keep the camera right on you. Oh, you can have it circle you, that's right. So it will actually circle you. So we can start that a little bit. And it's starting an orbit around me. Boy, this is one of the best experiences I've had with tracking on this drone. So I'm going to get out of that. We're going to click the X, and let's get some altitude. Pick the camera back up here. Okay, so we're going to do a return to home, and let me make sure that we have precision landing set here. Precise landing, I just went past it, is on. Yeah, so that's good. So let's get out of there. And the cool thing about this is you can leave it recording the whole time. Let's do return to home, and I should be able to do that. I can either do it on the screen here with the home, or I can flip it right here. I'm going to back the drone off, make sure it's far enough away. Okay, And now we're going to flip this switch and go into return to home. And it says returning home at the top. And let's see if we get that. Let's see if we can get that precision landing. I was really pleased with the way the drone tracked us today. It did. I mean, that was almost perfect. Down to 20% battery. Let's kick that camera down here so we can see where we're at. Yeah, it's a little bit off, but you know, it can correct itself as it's coming down. I can't remember. I think this one will automatically kick the camera back up, but I'll kick it up here in a second. If it doesn't, I'll use that this 5-way switch. It's so cool. Yeah, it's a little ways off. Landing pad not detected. Well, it's moving. Landing pad detected, it says. Yeah, it's not going to hit it. I'm going to kick that camera back up. It's going to miss the pad, but it's pretty darn close. It's close enough that I can tell you I'm not worried about it. So yeah, you saw that on screen there on the Canon camera. So all right, let me get everything shut down and we'll do a conclusion. You notice I didn't say quick conclusion that time. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out is it did automatically shut off recording, which is good. Okay guys, before we start this conclusion of these two drones, I'm going to go out and pick up my landing pad. You saw I've got a square flat one and I used to have a round one. I left that round one out here the last time I was flying here and it's gone. Okay, the Fimi X8 SE, the 2018 version, and the Hubsan Zino 2, fairly recent drone, just came out this spring, or just became available this spring. These two drones are so comparable, it's not even funny. They really have very, very similar capabilities. This guy will shoot in 4K 60, this one will only shoot in 4K 30, and even the 2020 version of this, even though it's going to have a new camera, is just in 4K 30. Which is perfect for me. The only reason that I would think you would want 60 frames per second is if you're going to do some kind of slow motion stuff, and I can appreciate that if you do, but there is slow motion on both of them in the lower resolutions, and I don't remember what those are right off the top of my head, but that information is out there. Both really fast drones. I think the Zino 2 is a little bit faster than this guy. Man, I mean, performance-wise, then stability-wise and controls-wise, I'm going to give the edge to the Fimi. It just flies a little better, a little steadier. It's more stable. And this guy has got a few stability issues. My biggest complaint is on landing, where you know it still thinks that it's 6 feet up in the air when it's on the ground, and you saw when we landed there, it bounced once. That's an issue that Hubsan needs to take a look at. That said, when it's up in the air, when you've got it 100 feet in the air, you don't even notice that, so it's not such a big deal. Now, both of them, video-wise, I'll let you guys make the decision on that. From my experience, they both look really good. From just a pure video perspective, you would probably give a little bit of an edge to this guy, although we'll see when the 2020 version comes out on this one, although they are really close. The only caveat I'm going to throw in there, what I've seen with the Zino 2 is occasionally you get some micro shaking in the video. I've seen it on YouTube. You look at anybody's video footage from the Zino 2 and you're going to see a little bit of that shaking in there. Often it's on descent, sometimes it's in high-speed forward mode, but my experience is it can happen at any time. Most of the time it's perfectly stable, but you occasionally get that. I've never seen it on this guy. Conversely, this one always has a nice flat horizon. The darn Fimi, ever since this thing was new, you get just a little bit of a tilted horizon, and you'll You've seen it in the video there, and often you give it a second and it'll recover. If you yaw a little bit, it'll recover that flat horizon. So, you know, it's something that you can deal with. It is a little frustrating. Let's hope that they get that corrected in the 2020 version. But both of them are real. I had so much fun flying these things today. You saw the orbit we did around the cell phone tower. Both of them just executed it perfectly. The follow me modes, both of them did excellent in follow me. Today's follow me, or smart track that they call it on this one, it worked really, really well. I've had issues with smart track with this guy in the past. To be fair, they call it beta. It says right there on the screen beta, but it worked perfectly today. So that's great news. This guy always tracks you real well. Hubsan does a good job with that optical tracking. This also has the GPS tracking, which isn't nearly as useful in my opinion, because it's harder to keep you in center of frame, but it does work, and it's there if you want to use it. And then, you know, top speed wise, a little bit of an edge to the Zino 2, although they're both very high speed, high performance drones. I guess that is about it for this. Now, this one has a few more intelligent flight mode features on there. If you put this one in SAR mode, search and rescue mode, it actually has a digital zoom on there that actually works pretty good. I'm trying to think of what features this has. This has that new comet feature, which I tried that in an earlier video. I'm not sure what that does. This has a number of those intelligent flight modes. I can't remember what they call them all on here, but it'll do the corkscrew as it raises in altitude and keeps you in center of frame. So there's a bunch of different flight modes that they built into this guy. Precision landing, neither one of them were perfect on that, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. They were both close enough as far as I'm concerned. That precision landing, quite frankly, it gets the drone back to you. That's the main thing you need, and then you can land it yourself. But it's just fun to fool around with. And on this guy, it's kind of fun to watch it put that target down and it tries to hit the target. The thing I don't like is it uses the video camera on this one. This one uses the downward facing camera. Both of them did their best, and I watched them both do some maneuvering up there to try and hit it, but they were close enough that no complaints. So I guess that's about it. I hope you found some value in this, and if you're choosing one of these drones, you know, that helped you pick out which one you want. I'm going to put in another plug for this guy. Banggood has it on sale right now. You can pick it up for about 371 bucks. It was as cheap as 347 a few weeks ago, and then they had that weird $299 drawing. I know some people won that, but you know, that was just kind of a drawing thing. It was weird, but I picked one up for 347 bucks, the one that I ordered. I just think that is a phenomenal deal. I'll put the link and the code down below for this guy on Banggood, and you should be able to get it. I think the price on it, it'll say $421 or something like that, and then you put the code in, and I think it'll get you down to about $371, which is just an amazing deal. When you look at this as opposed to some of those other toy drones that are still a couple $100s, I don't know, you really want to step up to something like this. This guy, the price is a little bit high now. It's about $549, and then some of the Chinese websites are a little bit higher than that. I will put a link in, a Banggood link for this guy in the description below. I'll look around and see if there's any kind of discount codes available. If they are, we'll put them in there, but there's none that I know of right now. If you want to buy one of these, I would recommend going directly to Hubsan's website. I think it's $549, or yeah, $549. If you get the Fly More combo, which comes with a bag and an extra battery, it's only 50 bucks more. It's $599, so why wouldn't you choose that? If you're going to spend that much money on this guy, spend $799 and buy the new Mavic Air 2, which is just phenomenal. It's got way more capabilities than either one of these drones. So that's just, and I realize that's another step up. But I just want to make you aware of that stuff, and I'll put my DJI affiliate link in there too if you want to buy one of those Mavic Air 2s. I've got one of those coming, and I should have it by Thursday, so I'm really excited to mess around with that guy. But hey, enough jibber jabber, as my friend Ron Brown would say. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. Most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video, and we absolutely will see you on the next one. So yeah, we got the Fimi X8 SE, and get the props out of the way, we got the Hubsan Zino 2. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye now.